Okay, let's just dive right in, shall we? If you're a recent graduate, you know what I'm talking about. Stepping out into the job market today, it feels less like a celebration and more like, I don't know, gearing up for a battle. That whole idea of getting your degree and walking into a dream job, it feels like it's just gone. And what's left is what people are calling a full-blown job apocalypse. And does this sound familiar? I've applied to over 100 jobs on LinkedIn, and that's just LinkedIn alone. That's a real quote from a Gen Z grad, and wow, does it capture a feeling that is just everywhere right now. You know the drill, the endless applications, the deafening silence, the sheer amount of work you're putting in for what feels like nothing. It is so frustrating. And then, of course, you got this gem. Yeah, you actually need 5 years of experience for this position. It's that classic catch-22, right? You need experience to get a job, but you can't get experience without a job. It's this completely absurd paradox for so-called entry-level jobs, and it stops being funny real quick when you're the one living it. Now, this is where it gets really interesting and honestly kind of shocking. The scale of this problem. We're not talking about applying to a dozen jobs. Listen to this. For one graduate, a woman named Caitlin, it took 647 applications to finally land a role. Just let that number sink in for a second. 647. So yeah, if you're feeling overwhelmed, numbers like this are proof that what you're going through is absolutely real. And it's massive. So here's the most important takeaway from all of this. You're not imagining it. It's not in your head. That anxiety, that frustration, that feeling like the rules of the game were completely rewritten while you were in class, it's real. The game has just fundamentally changed. All right, so let's start by breaking down what we're calling the graduate jobpocalypse. When you boil it down, the math is pretty simple and pretty stark. We've got more people chasing way fewer jobs. This number right here, it really says it all. Negative 33%. According to data from Indeed, that's how much job vacancies for new graduates have dropped in just the last year. That is a huge chunk of the market just vanishing right at the moment a whole new wave of talent is trying to get in. And this chart, this shows something that's never happened before. For the first time ever recorded, the unemployment rate for recent college grads, the very people we're told are supposed to be the most employable, is now actually higher than the national average. This isn't how it's supposed to work. This is not normal. So it really begs the question, right? What on earth is going on? Is this just one bad thing, or are we caught in the middle of a perfect storm? Okay, let's talk about that perfect storm. We're going to deconstruct this crisis and look at the key forces that are all converging at once to make the job hunt so incredibly difficult. First up, the big one, the one everyone's talking about, AI and automation. Look, new tech is always going to create new jobs, we know that. But here's the catch. It's also wiping out the exact kind of entry-level, repetitive roles that graduates have always relied on to get their foot in the door. Things like data entry, administrative support, poof. And that's creating this massive gap at the bottom. Okay, have you ever applied for a job that seems absolutely perfect? You send in your resume, and then crickets. Nothing. And then you see the same posting still up weeks or even months later? Well, congratulations, you've probably applied for a ghost job. These are job postings from real companies for roles that, well, they don't really exist, or at least they aren't trying to fill them right now. They do it for all sorts of reasons, to look like they're growing, to keep a pipeline of potential candidates just in case, or even to motivate their current staff. It's a really frustrating trend. And it's not just AI and ghost jobs. There are these other kind of systemic hurdles in your way. First, you've got the automated hiring systems, the ATS bots. They can scan a perfect resume and toss it in the digital trash can just because it's missing one specific keyword. Then there's something called degree inflation, where jobs that a high school grad could do 10 years ago now suddenly require a bachelor's degree. And finally, you have job hugging. People are scared about the economy, so they're clinging to their current jobs, which means fewer openings for new talent coming in. Okay, that was a lot of doom and gloom, I know. But here's the thing, you can't beat an enemy you don't understand. Now that we know what we're up against, let's pivot. Let's talk about how you can actually change the game and outsmart this totally broken system. This quote right here is so important. The job search is a mental battle more than anything else. If you go into it believing it's impossible, you're not going to put in your best effort, and guess what? That becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But if you operate from the belief that, okay, this is tough, but I will find something great, it changes your entire approach. Your mindset is step one. It's everything. So, how do you put that belief into practice? Here's a super simple, super practical strategy to help you bypass what I call the application black hole. Stop just smashing that easy apply button on big job boards like LinkedIn. Instead, use those sites for discovery. Find a job you like, and then, this is the key part. Open a new tab, go directly to that company's website, find their careers page, and apply there. It's a small detour, but it ensures your application actually lands in their system, not in some third-party void where it can get lost forever. All right, so if the front door seems locked, where are the side entrances? Where are the hidden opportunities? Because while some career paths are definitely getting narrower, others are wide open. You just have to know where to look. Here's a kind of counterintuitive but really powerful idea I want you to consider. Everybody is chasing the same cool, trendy, high-profile jobs. But often, the most stable, most profitable, and most available jobs are the ones that, well, let's be honest, they sound a little boring. And that lack of competition, that's your secret weapon. Just look at these examples. A funeral sales specialist. Not glamorous, right? But it's a stable, recession-proof industry most people don't even think about, and you can make over $86,000 a year. Or what about a database administrator? You could start around 70 grand and easily clear 6 figures with some experience. Or a data taxonomy specialist, which is basically a librarian for the digital age. They can earn up to 139,000. These are real high-demand fields with way less competition. And if we're looking a little further down the road, the World Economic Forum points to a few major growth areas. The whole green transition is creating a huge demand for sustainability roles. Healthcare is just booming, mostly thanks to aging populations. And of course, tech isn't going anywhere, especially roles that work with AI, not against it. These are the sectors to keep an eye on for the long term. So, what does all this mean for you? It means the old playbook, go to school, get a good job, climb the ladder, is basically obsolete. To succeed now and to future-proof your career, you need a totally new approach. So here it is. This is the new playbook for today's world. First, it's about searching strategically, not just harder. That means targeting those hidden jobs and bypassing the application black hole. Second, it's about continuous upskilling. You have to keep learning to stay ahead of the machines. And maybe most importantly, it's about being willing to explore those unconventional paths, because that straight and narrow career ladder, it just doesn't really exist anymore. Yeah, the old career ladder is broken. But you know what? Maybe that's not a dead end. Maybe it's an invitation. It frees you from having to follow a single, boring path, and instead makes you the architect of your own career. You get to build something new, something more resilient, something that's uniquely yours. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build?